So, AI, it's everywhere, right? It's our tool. Sometimes it feels like a partner, maybe even a mirror. But what's it really showing us about ourselves? And the bigger question is, how is it actually changing how we think and how we feel? That's what we're digging into today, the way AI is quietly shaping our minds. Let's get into it.
All right, let's start with a big one. And I want you to really think about this for a second. Are you just a thinker, or are you something more? Because honestly, how you answer that could change everything about how we deal with AI. Are you just that little voice in your head? You know, the one that's always calculating and judging? Or is there something deeper going on? To really get this, we've got to make a really important distinction. It's the difference between your analytical mind, or tâm-chi, and your consciousness, tâm-thức. Think of it like this. Your mind is the thinker, right? It's all about logic and reasoning. But your consciousness, that's the feeler. It's the whole space of awareness where you actually experience your life.
So let's break that down a little more. What exactly are these two parts of us, this thinker and this feeler? Let's get to the heart of what makes them so different. First up is consciousness, or tâm-thức. Now, this isn't just another function of your brain. It's the entire field where everything happens. It's the background, the awareness that holds every thought, every feeling, every sensation. It's quite simply what it's like to be you. It's where joy and sorrow and love actually live. And then you have the analytical mind, tâm-chi. Now, look at how it's described here. It's a tool within consciousness. This is that voice that's always chattering away, right? It's analyzing what happened yesterday. It's worrying about tomorrow. It's constantly making judgments. It's an unbelievably powerful tool, don't get me wrong, but it's not the whole you. It's the tool, not the person using it. And that brings us right to where we are today. Because that very tool, that analytical mind of ours, well, it turns out we can now outsource it. We are literally delegating the act of thinking to artificial intelligence. Yeah, there's actually a name for this. It's called cognitive offloading. It's basically when we hand off the heavy lifting of our thinking, remembering stuff, analyzing problems, even creating things, to something like AI. And look, it's super convenient, no doubt about it. But there's a catch, a pretty big one. The convenience might hum at the cost of engaging in that deep, reflective thinking for ourselves. Just think about it for a second. When's the last time you actually had to navigate a new place with a paper map, remembering all the turns? This quote from Karen Thornburg at Harvard just nails it. We totally offloaded our sense of direction to GPS. And now, we're doing the exact same thing with our thinking skills, handing them over to large language models. So, what does this actually look like in the real world? What's the impact? Well, a recent study put a number on it, and honestly, it's a pretty jarring number. So what is that number? Well, that -0.68, that's the correlation researchers found, a link between using a lot of AI tools and a decline in critical thinking skills. And this isn't just some vague idea, right? This is data showing a real, measurable connection. It seems the more we let AI do the thinking for us, the weaker that mental muscle gets. And that mental cost, that's only part of the story. The price we pay for all this convenience is also an emotional one, because it turns out we're not just outsourcing our thinking, we're starting to outsource our connections too. This chart really lays it all out. When an AI shows emotion, it's just an algorithm. It's a calculated, designed response. But real human connection, that comes from a messy, subjective, internal place. It takes real effort. It takes vulnerability. It's something an AI can only ever pretend to do. And that, right there, is the crucial difference. An AI can be programmed to say, "I understand," but it can't share a memory with you. It can spit out a supportive phrase, but it can't be vulnerable with you because it has nothing to lose. Real connection is built on shared history and shared risk, things a machine just can't replicate. And the research is starting to show this pretty clearly. A study from Stanford found that when people who are already feeling isolated turn to chatbots for company, it's actually linked to lower well-being. It's like a simulation of connection doesn't just fall short of the real thing, it might even make the loneliness sting a little more. The danger is that we start to prefer this ideal companion, the one that's always there, always agrees, never argues, and what happens then? We get out of practice with real, messy human relationships. We might even get impatient with other people. And worst of all, we might stop putting in the hard work that real, authentic connection requires. So all of this really builds up to the biggest question of all. behind all the perfectly crafted words, all the simulated empathy, is there anybody home? Can a machine ever, actually feel anything? To even begin to answer that, we have to talk about something called qualia. It's a bit of a philosophical term, but the idea is simple. Qualia is the raw, subjective feeling of an experience. It's not the science of how your eye sees the color red, it's the experience of seeing red. It's the what it's like part of life. And this is where AI hits a wall, a big one. I love this point from Dr. Robert J. Marks. He basically says, look, try to describe the taste of an orange. I mean, really describe it. You can't, not fully. So if you can't even put words to it, how on earth could you write computer code for it? That raw experience, it's just not an algorithm. And if you can't write the code for it, a computer can't do it. Simple as that. And this creates a huge problem, what some are calling the talker-feeler gap. It's this idea that there's a fundamental disconnect between the part of an AI that can talk about feelings and any part that might actually have feelings. I mean, you can train an AI on every book, poem, and song ever written about love. It can learn to string together the perfect words to describe that feeling. But there's just no guarantee and maybe no possibility that the part of the machine generating the words is actually connected to anything that feels like love. That bridge between the talking and the feeling, it might just be missing entirely. Okay, so where does all this leave us? Well, in a world that's quickly filling up with these amazing tools that can think, our job, maybe now more than ever, is to remember and reclaim what it actually means to be human. I absolutely love this metaphor from Christopher Today at Harvard. You know how Athena, the goddess of wisdom, always had an owl on her shoulder? That owl represented knowledge. AI can be our owl. It can be this incredible source of knowledge, sitting on our shoulder. But we have to remember it serves our wisdom. The owl sits on our shoulder, not the other way around. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back to that first question. As we keep building these incredible, perfect tools for thinking, are we kind of forgetting the actual work of being? Are we getting so obsessed with finding the right answers that we're forgetting what it's like to just live the questions, to just be here? That's the thought I want to leave you with. Thanks for joining me.